Welcome back to a new episode of Rich Lessons. On this episode, we are welcoming a special guest, Miss Marty McDonald. Thank you for joining us.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Happy to have you here.
Yes.
I want to say special guest, an enterprising woman,
A lot.
business owner.
A lot. And we're going to get into it. So to give her a proper introduction, I'm going to read a little bit of her bio.
Oh God.
I feel like everybody says that.
Everybody says that when you read the bio. They're like, oh no, just keep it short, keep it short.
Yeah.
But how can we keep it short when there's so many accolades, so much to discuss?
These are facts. All right. Marty McDonald is the founder of Boss Women Media and Elle Olivia, two transformative brands born from her mission to inspire and empower women and families of color. After an 11-year corporate career working with Fortune 500 companies, Mary took a bold leap to create a community centered on connection, empowerment, and opportunity. Through Boss Women Media, she has built a movement with initiatives like the multi-city Black Girl Magic Tour, the annual Boss Woman of the Year Summit, and a thriving community of over 100,000 women. Her work challenges fear as a barrier, equipping women to chase audacious dreams and achieve their fullest potential. In 2022, Mary expanded her impact with the launch of Elle Olivia, a children's lifestyle brand inspired by her daughter's extraordinary journey. When her daughter, Elle Olivia was diagnosed with congenital, make sure I'm saying this right because I do not want to make sure.
Congenital diaphragmatic hernia.
During pregnancy, Mary and her husband became fierce advocates for representation and equity in Black parenthood. This deeply personal experience fueled the creation of Elle Olivia, a brand showcasing representation and big possibilities for Black girls through thoughtfully designed functional clothing. Starting with a sold-out Valentine's Day collection, Elle Olivia quickly grew into a staple brand, offering soft bamboo-based lay-in-play sets for toddlers. By 2023, Elle Olivia was carried in over 400 Target stores nationwide, bringing Mary's vision of representation and empowerment into homes across the country. Mary McDonald continues to champion women and families, proving that big dreams, resilience, and representation can transform lives. Through her work, she's empowering the next generation to embrace their own possibilities and achieve more fearlessly. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm so excited to be here.
It's a pleasure. I will say I just saw Marty 2 weeks ago.
Yes, at the HBCU Entrepreneur Summit. Yes.
And I tell you, she be jet setting in and out, in and out. She come in, she take care of business, and
listen, I got too many kids to be sitting around. Listen, I got 3 kids at the house under the age of 4. My husband like, you're not going to leave me here with all these kids. You got to come on back.
Right. Go do what you need to do and come on
back.
Yes.
So you run 2 companies.
Yes.
But you also 11-year career.
Yes.
So we're going to actually start the most interesting topic that's going on right now, which is transitioning out of that corporate career, but it being Target. Tell us from being in corporate, transitioning out, and what that's been like for you.
Yeah. So before I even got into Target, my space was growing Boss Women Media. I was growing Boss Women Media 4 years before a thought of Target even came about. I never necessarily thought I would be in Target from the perspective of me building a children's line, but I knew that one day from a licensing deal or something, that product that I created would be on the shelf of a space that I love to frequent and walk down the aisles. Who didn't love walking down the aisles of Target? I got PTSD, right? I lost a family member, right? Not being able to do this, but it really came out of a space of a need, right? When I got pregnant with my daughter in 2020, we got diagnosed with something called congenital diaphragmatic hernia. It's something that 1 out of 30,000 people experience. It's so rare, and there's not a lot of treatments for it. Luckily, we were in a city where the doctor actually was one of the world's specialists to specialize in it. And from the experience, what happened was, instead of us delivering at our private hospital that we had planned, me and my husband, we would have to deliver her at the county hospital. That county hospital experience is just what it is. They're going to put you in a box. They're going to tell you who you are before you get there. And they're going to ask you some of the most offensive questions because you're Black. Simply put, right? Are you on welfare? Are you married? Are you still with your baby's father? And I'm like, no, no, and no, right? But it opened my eyes to the bubble that I was living in. The reason why it was so important for me is because Marty comes from a small town in Tennessee where I did grow up getting government assistance. And now I had built a career that didn't necessarily lend itself depending upon it. And that was something to be very proud of. And so to be kind of pushed back into a system because it was connected to the children's hospital, that county hospital was, it would be safer for me to have her there and then walk her over to children's versus life flighting her in on something that it was so unknown, 1 out of 30,000 babies. We ended up staying in the NICU for 35 days so that her lungs could heal. But we had the surgery to basically refurbish the hernia when she was 3 days old. And the experience itself left me understanding the type of mother I was supposed to be for her. And that experience was, man, I got to teach my daughter how to advocate for herself. I'm up in these hospital streets and I don't really know how to advocate for myself as a new mom. I don't know how to pull up for myself. I don't know the right questions to ask. Oh, this feels like a foreign environment. I got to make sure that my kid has advocacy tools. And those tools are learned at a really early age. And I got to make sure that she sees herself. When I was at that hospital, everybody I saw was the help that looked like me. And that just left me very paralyzed. That why were we not the doctors, the leaders, the management? Instead, we were the techs or the help. And I needed my daughter to know that those options are possible for her to have. She can be the doctor. She can be the CEO of this hospital if she wants to be, right? But that makes me, as her mother, know that I have to expose her to what's possible. So when I left and we left the NICU, that was on the forefront of my mind in everything I was doing for this baby who was 2 months old. I was going to make sure that she knew how to advocate for herself. I was going to make sure that representation was possible. It wasn't until 8 months later that I was strolling the aisles of Target and I was looking for something that had a character on it that looked like my daughter. I wanted something that she could see representation in through clothes that she wore, right? We had the books checked. We had the dolls checked, but I wanted something more. I wanted a lifestyle brand. And at that time, I was like, what would happen if Lisa Frank, I remember Lisa Frank from me growing up, came to life in the form of a Black girl character? What would happen for other Black little girls to be able to see that, right? And so I left Target that day when I was walking the shelves looking, and it was absolutely no question in my mind that I wasn't going to go create it. It was like, I'm going to go create it, and it's going to be back here in Target once I've launched it. And that's really how it happened. It was one day me leaning into the whisper. The whisper we all hear no matter what area it is, and me activating and being obedient to the whisper.
Yes. I'm curious to know, what about your background? Because you mentioned that you're from Tennessee, right? You grew up needing assistance. What about your background prepared you for, whether that be young, high school, college, whatever that may be, prepared you for where you are now, prepared you to launch that lifestyle brand?
Yeah. I think that my background is similar to a lot of our stories. There's no difference. I went to college. I was told to go get a good job, right? I went and got the good job. I followed all the rules, and then I looked around and I was like, yeah, don't nobody here look like me. Like, why am I the only one? This doesn't feel comfortable. I'm having to be like what they want me to be, right? And so I think my background has naturally been, I've been curious my entire life. And I've always known more existed. I was a 4-year-old who was like, yeah, this ain't it. Like, this right here, this ain't gonna be my life.
Right.
Somehow, some way, I'm gonna make it up out of here, right? And so I think that those skills and those superpowers have really landed opportunity for me of saying, I want more, right? More exists. I don't have to be in the box that they told me to be in. But my strength that I've nurtured over time is storytelling and pitching. And I didn't know that until I got into corporate environments where when you want to move projects alone and nobody's listening to the middle managed black girl, you got to learn real quick how to storytell. You got to learn real quick how to be persuasive. You got to learn really quick how to move the needle and galvanize people to your ideas, right? And so I think that has served me well in me being a business owner, right? When I go into corporations and I'm pitching for sponsorships and partnership deals, then I'm being able to move the needle because I'm telling the story from the perspective of what they need and how I can help them, right? And not from the story of, I created a children's brand and you need to be a part of this. Nobody cares about that, right? And so I sent a cold pitch email to Target 6 months after we launched. In that cold pitch email, I had already did a mini campaign of our first collection. I hired influencers. I got a billboard in Dallas off of 75. I made the investments. Did a whole photo shoot for it. Like, I laid it out so plainly for them to see, this is what our brand looks like. What could it look like then on your shelves under amplification? There were so many things I did not know before I sent that pitch, though, right? That I wish I would have known, but if I had have known it, I probably would have never sent that pitch, right? And so, but to answer your question, I think that that's been the thing. It's been learning how to read the room, learning how to utilize the data that I have when I have it, learning how to pitch and position brands into wanting to work with our companies from the perspective of our companies can help them move the needle with what their goals and objectives are.
Now, you said that if you've known what you know now, you may not have sent the pitch.
Yeah.
What are some things that you wish you would have known?
Ooh, do we got time today?
We got a little time,
Everybody thinks that when I get on the shelves of retail, I've made it. It's such a myth because we don't talk about it out loud on what being on the shelves really mean. When I got my first PO for Target, I was supposed to produce 130,000 pieces. When I got the email, and the way Target even awards is really interesting itself, it's not like formalized in a lot of ways. It's kind of like on a spreadsheet and there's a whole bunch of SKUs on it, right? And I remember looking at it on my phone on the spreadsheet because I was so excited. And me not seeing that it said 130,000 pieces and me thinking it said 10,000 pieces. And also me thinking, I got the money to pay for 10,000 pieces. All right, we are on and we're marching towards something. And then to find out, actually it's not 10,000, it's 130,000. And now we're playing in a different field. 130,000 pieces costs me $600,000-$700,000 to produce, right? So now I'm having to have different conversations with my husband about what this even means for our life. I've bootstrapped Boss Woman Media from the ground up. I have never taken investment dollars, right? So now what does this mean? I'm creating this children's brand that's heavy capital intensive. It's products on a shelf that has a seasonality to it, which means after fall, you're going to need winter. After winter, you're going to need spring. Spring, you're going to need summer, right?
Yes.
I had no idea what that costs at all. Oh, by the way, we were the first Black-owned baby line to be on the shelves in Target. No, now I know why we was the first.
Right.
It cost a lot of
To get
money
there.
to get there, right? To produce this product. And we weren't going to just put out any type of product. Our product was bamboo. It was going to be soft on a baby's skin, right? It's eco-friendly. Like, our list went on and on. The biggest thing is that it's not just getting on the shelves of Target. There's a cost to stay on the shelves of Target.
Mm-hmm.
Target expects you to move your own product. Moving your own product means to market to people.
Yeah, because they're not doing the marketing for you.
They're not doing it for you. And what they offer to do it for you ain't doing it for you.
Right.
At all. And so you got to figure out ways to galvanize your community to go and purchase your product off the shelf. And
consistently.
Yes. And that part was what was my biggest lesson. I thought, Mama, I made it. I can say I'm on the shelves of Target. And there's so much more to that story than just being on the shelves.
Yeah.
I think people, we talk about it, particularly with Black women. Even when sometimes we get these opportunities and it becomes the chicken and the egg problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had this opportunity, maybe I got this LOI, maybe I have these orders that I know for a fact they're going to come in, but I need the money to actually make it happen.
Yep.
But then, of course, we also know the numbers around our luck and going out and being able to raise that type of money. So I'm curious, now, here you are, got Target that says, yes, I need 130,000. Again, 10,000, I got it. 130,000, we having different conversations. So where'd you go from there?
Girls. So when I grounded myself in what it was, I'm calling everybody that I knew. I utilized my network in this instance.
She says, we got a problem with asking people like what we
What
want,
you
what we
need,
needed.
yeah.
And call the right people.
The right people.
And call the right people. So I remember calling, actually, one of the first people I called was Jasmine, who's the CEO of Be Rooted, who I knew her product was in Target. She's been in there for a while. I have a long list of folks that I could have called, but for some reason with her, I was like, she's been in Target seasonally. Let me connect with her. So I connected with her, and I remember I was so upset that it wasn't 10,000 units. Sometimes we think so small, and sometimes it's the perspective when you call somebody else that can help you really see the big picture. I remember telling her, I'm like, girl, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's I thought it was 10,000, but it's 130,000. And Jasmine was like, that's a really good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm sitting here thinking it's a bad problem because I don't have the money. But she's positioning me to say, girl, you can go get the money.
Right.
Like, sometimes it's just people like that. That's what that conversation lended, if not anything else. It lended perspective, right? And I remember her saying, I know a PO financing company. I'm like, okay, wait, there's such thing as PO financing company. Like, somebody will finance my PO, but my business was only 6 months old. So nobody was about to take a chance to finance a PO on a product that was coming in from overseas. So I'm interviewing people, I'm talking to people, and all of these old white men is who I'm normally talking to because they're the ones that have the approvals to say the yeses. And they're like, well, what are you doing? And how old? And they didn't get it at all, right? And I remember just going through dozens of phone calls with people, from PO financing companies to people who I thought in my network who could cut me a check, to my brother who I was like, I just need you to cut me a check for $350,000.
Right.
Like, what? Just stop playing. He like, I don't even have money like that. Who do you think I am? And I'm like, you don't? Like, you know, like just me talking to people, to me even thinking, you know, me and my husband at the time, when I got the award, we had Elle. By this time, I found out I was pregnant with the twins. And so I'm like, we were going to move. We were going to move into another house. I'm like, we'll take all the proceeds from our house. And my husband like, no, we not. And I'm like, you don't even believe in me either. Like, what? I'm out here by myself. And it was just me hustling on phone calls, me talking to anybody who would pick up my phone call. And normally when I would end a call, it would lead to me having to connect with somebody new.
Mm-hmm.
And me just doing that over and over until I found someone who said yes. Now, the person who said yes was not the right yes in a lot of ways, but it was the yes that I needed to get to the chicken in the head, right? Like literally me going from one yes to learn a lesson to the next yes to learn another hard lesson. So I ended up going with a PO financing company to get it produced, but I signed the wrong terms.
Mm-hmm.
The terms were like a shark loan type of terms, just to get it. And I ended up getting a really good contract with Target to get paid quickly so that I could be bought out of it and so that I could produce the capital, a little bit of capital to manufacture the next line, right? But I think that number one, my biggest lesson in that was utilize your network. But then number two, not only when you utilize your network and you get on calls with people that you expect to know a lot, you got to ask just as many questions.
Yeah.
So that you are informed. For some reason, we've gotten away from thinking we can ask questions because we're supposed to know it all. And we're afraid to fail out loud. And I think that social media does that, right? It makes us feel like we just we gotta figure it out. It gotta be glamorous. The announcement gotta be big, right? And it's like, nah, that everybody out here not winning. People out here faking.
Right.
Yes. And in actuality, in every win you see, it probably was 15 losses behind the scenes.
One win.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you talk about, and I always think about like what investors say when they don't want to invest. It's always like, okay, well, go get this, and then when you get that, I'm going to invest. You had the PO, like you had the agreement, and investors were still like, oh, talk to this person, when usually to have gotten as far as you had should have been like enough for people to fund your business and help you get to the next level.
Yep.
Right. And I think those are the scenarios, particularly that minorities, Black women are faced with, even when we did the thing that 99% of people can't do.
It's still a hard no didn't do it in the timeline in which you did it so quickly. How did you do it so quickly? Is this sustainable, right? And the questions go on and on. When in actuality, it's the bro culture out here raising money before they ever have a concept.
Right, exactly.
Like, what? I ain't even seen your product demo yet. And
no
you done
contracts,
raised
no
$20
POs.
million.
None of it, a dream.
Yep. So I mean, all of it, what ended up happening is I got the PO financing from a company, and it was a white man who said yes. And it taught me how to negotiate through how he negotiated with me, right? And how he was like, and you gonna pay me. And like, in the sternness and how you position your business and how you talk about your business and when you show kindness in it, like it was a master class for me. But until I didn't need him anymore, it was a shocker also to him that I was going to pay him out, that this was not going to be something that was a reoccurrence for me, because I did equip myself well after I didn't know it all, and then I leaned in to learn more about the process.
Yeah, some investors like that are just like financial institutions. They want you to be dependent on them,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
and have to constantly just come back.
So you go out and do what you have to do. 130,000.
We did 130,000 units. We sold at the store 100,000 of the 130,000 units.
Oh, amazing.
Yep.
You say it like you kind of say it like we did $100,000. Like that's
No,
Yeah,
it
100,000
was.
units.
that is
It,
huge.
I mean, listen. It took everything out of me. I'm on my bathroom floor crying.
Yes.
Okay, every day. It was hard ass work. That shit was not easy.
I'm glad you
And-
said that though, because I feel like so many people see the glamour of like, oh, she's on the shelf. Oh, and I like the fact that you're like, listen, yes, I got on the shelf, but
we worked our butts off. We pulled. I'm at Target, popped up doing videos at Target. I mean, mamas at Target. I'm telling folks popping up in different cities to meet people at Target. I got line sisters going to Target in Alabama. Pull my stuff out, put it on the upfront because they ain't even merchandise us well. Like it was exhausting. And then I got to thinking, I did all of this for Target.
Yeah.
I did all of this for Target. Let me backtrack for a second. What do I want to do? What do I want to build? Because I saw the shiny metal. I saw the star, right? Yes, now it's in my bio that people read, right? But that thing almost took me out. And I'm like, what part of the business do I like? Because I did not like that. I don't like manufacturing. I don't like negotiating them deals. And oh, by the way, I don't like taking people money. I don't want the weight of somebody else's money that I got to pay them back on my shoulders, right? And so really I had to recalibrate on I'm a storyteller. I'm a marketer. I'm an ideator. I'm a creative. I'm not trying to create an apparel brand. I'm creating a licensing and lifestyle brand. I want Gap to pick us up and they pick up our design.
Right.
I want the WNBA to pick us up, right? And we telling stories to little girls through our brands, right? Not I want to be on retail shelves. Sometimes you have to learn the lesson when you experience it to know what you want to be. Because, oh, by the way, ain't nobody giving us no blueprint out here
Right.
to what it is we supposed to be doing. You go and you walk the beauty shelves of Target, right? It's on lock. There are a lot of beauty brands that have successfully made it. I was in a space that we didn't exist in.
Right.
I didn't have anybody to call necessarily. I didn't have a blueprint to look from. So I'm making this thing up as we go. I'm flying the airplane,
Like-
gassing it up, and putting passengers on all at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm not doing it well either. And our brand is 3 years old now. We're still trying to figure it
I mean,
out.
you've done a lot in 3 years.
Yes.
Though. That's like, you just told a story that is like a 10-year,
Yeah.
15-year journey, but you've done all of that in 3 years.
That's absolutely amazing. Do you feel that to be able to do all of that within 3 years, the success that you have had, do you feel like the success with Elle Olivia is some of that is I know it's a lot, but do you feel like some of that is contribute to what you learned in building Boss Women Media?
Oh, 1,000%.
So yeah.
1,000%. When with Boss Women Media, I mean, we were getting the brand deals with the Amazons, the Intuits, the Capital Ones, right? So I'm learning how to go into here and position and pitch, right? I've pulled out all the KPIs. I know the things that's going to make this team really excited, right? So I'm taking all of those learnings from all of our programmings and how we're positioning ourselves, right? And I'm on the flip side. Okay, let me go put this in my Target pitch deck, right? When we ended up pulling our summer collection at Target and moving it to Amazon, but it was really from a space of over the last 5 years, we've had a partnership with Amazon. We are going to not just sell our product on Amazon, we're going to create a partnership where Amazon's going to bring us their influencers. They're going to they're looking for businesses like mine to be on there. So I'm just going to strategically position my business to be an added value for them. But if I hadn't have had those years of a lot of no's, right? A lot of not yet, and a lot of you need to grow bigger, right? I wouldn't have known how to reposition myself. I mean, and to your point, yes, 3 years, we've done so much. I was just at the WNBA headquarters pitching them, right? And not blinking an eye. I'm like, I do this in my sleep,
Right.
right? Like, what do you mean? Like, this would be an added win for you guys, right? But it comes with time. The thing that I wish new founders knew is that, first of all, an overnight success is 10 years in the making. It takes, you got to earn your stripes in this thing.
Yes.
And folks who build it real fast, I'm gonna look at you a little side eye if I don't hear no grit to your story.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every story got to be so hard, right? But when you building really fast and you don't have any stripes on it, does anybody really care? Right? And so that's where, I mean, I got stories for days from that perspective. And I wouldn't trade it in for anything, because it's taught me so much. Here's what I do know. I know I'm able to do absolutely anything I set my mind to. Period. If you want to be and do something, if you believe it, it doesn't really matter if no one else does. But if you believe it, that's your North Star, the belief.
Absolutely. So, we have to ask you, how do you feel about the Target boycott? Obviously, everyone knows this from this audience that I'm a part of.
10 toes down.
10 toes down with boycotting. I do feel the pain, though, of like lip bars. The brands, all these Black brands who are not seeing the numbers like they used to see the numbers. And I'm also part of, okay, now I need to go find everybody on other sites to be able to buy from them. But I'm curious to know, how has that pain hit you?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you're talking to like other Black vendors and you're just like, okay, how can we survive this? Or how can, we start pushing back the other way? Tabitha Brown has gotten so much heat for, and I feel for Tabitha.
I do too, because she's only trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I get it, because it is survival instinct, right? But curious to know how it's been for you.
And her deal is different too.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Target, like, we promote you. You need to get out here because we actually market your stuff. So we need to.
She has a licensing deal with them. It's that's different than even the lip bar. The lip bar's grown with Target, right? Melissa got skin in the game with them, right? Versus a new brand off of the street that's in Target. So there's levels to it. With us specifically, we saw the writing on the wall. Our buyer tells us, oh, we like our sassy little character that you've created. And I was like, sassy? Like they were using terms like this when we came in off the street. And I was like, wait a minute now. Like, she's not sassy, right? She's energetic. She's charismatic. She's strong. She's independent. I'm having to train them on how to talk about my brand, because it's a Black-owned brand. Because it's a Black-owned little girl. She has to be sassy. Right? So I had already seen what it was going to be for us. Did I think it was going to go this far? No, but I knew what I was up against, right? The education that I was having to do with just our own individual buyers and different things like that. And so we pulled out before the crazy happened, because we were like, we can go over to Amazon and we could probably reach more households. We've entered into the household of at least 100,000 folks. We know that 100,000 people have purchased our product, right? So if we go to Amazon, we might have some brand recognition. People might know the quality that they're going to get. That was just the next best move for us. I think the pendulum is going to swing, because there probably is going to be some boycott fatigue. Yeah. Number one, I think that from the perspective of them like getting it right, I think that they're going to have to come out and say what their plan is. Yes. They're going to have to state what the plan is, right? And it can't just be a Band-Aid over it. I don't think over time, I think that they're going to see, like, I haven't been back in Target. Now, I don't miss it. right?
I just said that. I was
Like,
like, what I used to about that? Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I that used to be my place.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't miss it. So now I need to know what y'all really gonna do, right? Even if it was just the language change, even if it like I need you guys to come out and say the thing.
Essence would have been a great opportunity for them to.
But and they're here.
Exactly. And they usually come out on stage. I don't know if they've come out on, on stage for concerts, but
What better way to address
I
something
think people are waiting.
here?
People are waiting.
To your point.
And it's a different consumer than the Walmart consumer. It's
Yes.
it's a different consumer. And so I think that even from that perspective of like there were other companies who did pull back DEI efforts, right? But Target, the consumer that was going to you is the consumer that is a little bit savvy, the consumer that has a discretional income,
Yes.
the consumer that's intentional as a buyer, right? So you can't play in that, right? So I don't know, but you know what it makes me think is how important it is to build your own community
Yes.
versus rely. I don't care what retailer it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a community that you've built, then they will roll with you on commerce. Commerce is the new I believe way that you can build community, right? And so that's going to take a little bit more time. I think that takes more funding too in a lot of ways to make yourself not to push out of all of the noise. But that's the currency. The currency is building community and having them follow you no matter where you are.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to shift a little bit to Boss Women Media because how long have you been running?
Boss Women Media. So I started Boss Women Media in 2018. So it's the last 7 years. I quit my corporate job December 1st, 2017.
Well, I feel like it's been around much longer.
It does feel
seems like it's
longer.
been around longer.
Yeah. So 2018.
I think I found out about you at Essence, actually, ironically, years ago. And how has that journey been? And I'm curious to hear from you about what you see for the future of how you're bringing women together and how, you're empowering them from being boss women.
Yeah. Well, I think that when I first started, it was like all around mass audiences, right? The bigger you could build, right? The more brand opportunity you could get. We've really made a pivot from the perspective of we're not really interested in being a space where we hold 10, 20, 30, 40,000 people in a room, right? We want to talk to the woman who is building alone. It's a lot of lonely founders out here, right? And so I'm really being intentional from the perspective of we're building a online community where we offer learning and development programming and one monthly activation that's in person in a new city every month. And that's through our Founders Tables events. But the online community, our goal is for it to be to 5,000 women that are paid members by the end of the year. We're currently sitting at a little over 400 members. And through Boss Class Community, our goal is to not only have this 6 and 7 figure founder in our space, but to also connect her with the woman who's sitting in middle management in corporate America so that they can intersect together. Because I believe that the woman who's sitting in middle management is the one who said yes to my projects.
Yeah.
And that made her feel like she was making an impact in the community because she got to be a part of something that looked like her. And if I could do that 10 times over for these founders that are sitting at this $800,000 mark and they don't know how to get to $1 million, I know how you get to $1 million. One contract from the right company can change the trajectory of your business. And if I can connect you with that. So our focus right now in the future is saying we have 6 and 7 figure founders that are learning with women who are sitting in middle management on leadership, on development, on mindset shifting together. And we bring them at the table together to truly be able to make change in their community. People sign contracts, not brands. Yep. And if I can get you in the room with the right people to help you get that contract, that's how we changing ecosystems out here. That's how we're making impact in community. I think the big moments and the big events are great, but people want something deeper right now.
Yes.
And this is our way of really being able to speak to it. But in full transparency, I'm doing this for the next 18 to 24 months, and I'm putting all balls to the wall. I'm putting it all in for me to be able to sell Boss, for it to go to a new owner, someone who can take it even higher. And so I'm laying it all out on the line because I believe in the mission. I believe in it. I know it works because I've done the work. But I got some other things I want to do too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We talk about when you've built multiple companies, you get to the point that it's like, I founded the company, I've been a CEO, but do I want to run this for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
I think people also don't understand there's a difference in being the founder of a company and being the CEO of a company. They're not the same. I think people use them interchangeably, but they're definitely not the same.
I'm a founder. I am a founder. I am so emotionally involved in it, right? Like, I'm not operating every single day like a CEO, right? I am so ingrained in it. My systems sometimes suck, you know? A CEO gonna have systems that are moving things forward. I've built this from nothing, right? I am the founder all day long. With El Olivia, I'm the founder, but I'm gonna hire me a CEO to run it because
we talk about this all the time.
Like, it's not. I want to lead it differently from what I've learned over here on doing this one. On this first business, I learned, all right, I can actually do this thing. Like, this actually, I can make things move this way. I can make impact this way, right? I can galvanize communities this way. All right, now I got all the confidence in the world. I can go make this one a $300 million business easily.
Just
and I don't have to run it. I don't have to run it.
Yeah, we literally talk about it all the time. So, but before we wrap up, one thing I do want to talk about quickly is motherhood.
Yeah.
Being a business owner and motherhood. I'm not a mother, but I've heard it's one of the toughest jobs
Oof, listen.
that is out there. So I'm not quite sure founder, CEO, motherhood, which one's the toughest. But what is that like? You know, you are very intentional about motherhood. As I said, we saw each other about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You was like, I'm in, I'm out. I got kids. Today you're like, I'm in, I'm out. I have kids. What is that like, motherhood? But also being a woman of business.
Yeah. You know, when you start your business and you think you are doing it for this one reason when you first start and you don't have no kids, amplify that with some children. Everything that you do is so intentional, right? You got these little people looking at you, right? And you don't want to fuck it up. You don't want to mess it up for them, right? The most important thing for me and my kids that I want them to know is, man, my mama betted on herself. Like, if they don't get nothing else from none of this, I want them to be able to look back in the archives and be like, man, but my mama betted on herself. And because she betted on herself, I can bet on myself. I want them to be excellent communicators. I want them to be decisive in their decision making, right? I want them to have critical thinking skills and all of that. But at the end of the day, I want them to know that my mama did all of this and she raised us and she prioritized us and she didn't get it right all the time, but we were her priority while she did these other things as well. And it's incredibly hard, but I have a partner who wants me to win, and he's okay with it not looking like traditional motherhood. You know, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and mama stayed at home.
Yeah.
Mamas didn't have a whole bunch of options, or mamas was single and they had to do a whole bunch of things, right? And my husband grew up with a stay-at-home mom, so I am definitely throwing him off of all of his hinges and everything that I do. But he like supports me, and we don't play like traditional roles in our house. Everybody like chips in, like everybody does their part, and we over communicate schedules, and we make sure that we have babysitters and help, and because it take a village to raise kids, and it can't be done alone at all. But it is the most important job that I have, 1000%, for my kids to be able to look at me. Every day I'm trying to solve for them. That's what I solve for. I solve to make sure that my kids have an equitable society that they live in.
Love that.
So the final question that we ask all our guests is, what is your rich lesson? Now, you already gave so many rich lessons. I'm like, I don't know if you got any more rich lessons to give, but this could be something that costs you nothing to learn or costs you a lot or everything to learn.
Yeah. So this fall, I have a book coming out called Audacious. And I got a book deal with Hachette Publishing. I got this book deal because I last year was hosting an influencer mom event, trying to get some moms to go to Target to buy my product, and was there really promoting our line at Target, right? What ended up happening was I connected with an influencer who tells me she got a book deal. And I'm like, this is the second person who told me they got a book deal. Like, I need to lean in. And so I asked her, I said, would you connect me with your book agent? And she said yes. First of all, that was so bold of me to ask her, as she's telling, right? But it was so pioneering of her to say yes. Because so often we're in a lot of spaces, right? We're in rooms, we're sitting at some tables, you're hearing things that are happening, but you don't ever ask if someone would do it for you. Right? And that's my rich lesson. Ask for what you want. You're not taking away from nobody else when you ask in a way that gives value, right? And be around people who are willing to give too. So when you ask, you got to be able to give, but you got to be around people who have the mindset that wants other people to win besides themselves too. And so that's the lesson I feel like I can take in all of my business. No matter where I've sat in business, I've not been afraid to ask. And the ask has always led to opportunity. That opportunity always leads to me being able to bring up somebody else along the way.
Thank you, Marty.
Love
It's
it.
been a pleasure having
Thank
you on
y'all
Rich Lessons
so much.
podcast.
Thank you. Until next time.